Alright, tree. Look at that. Pretty amazing. Popped back where it was. Little Christmas tree over there. Anyway, maybe this tree will do that too. We'll see. See if I can talk it into it. I really should go anyway. Oh, mail. Yeah, that's really, it's freaking amazing. I cut the end off of this one. You know, it's kind of a big log. But, yeah, I've never seen that much tree go back into the ground like that. I mean, that's a big piece of tree. I mean, really, look at it. Whole thing filled back in, mostly. I mean, you know. Yeah. Well, anyway, it's like a record or something. Look, that's, you know, that's a 24-inch stump diameter. Yeah. Anyway, sorry I didn't video that. I really didn't see it happening. I was sitting there cutting it, and all of a sudden, you know, no erectile dysfunction there. I mean, it was a millisecond. That thing flew back up. And, it was rather amazing. Oh, I'm supposed to make a video. Damn. Yeah, well, maybe I'll start a video when I'm further along. So I have to think of one. Yeah, I know I have one. There's got to be one in me. Yeah, so I'll be back. Oh, I am back. Sorry, I didn't mean to really hit the button, but I did. Mostly. I guess I could talk about that Indian guy said, "Oh, you make my last video on the subject of ephilism or whatever." He barely made his first video. He even barely said anything that was barely relevant. So that's always kind of funny, though, when people make their last videos. Because that's a sure sign that it won't be their last video. I mean, if you just say it's my last video, you've guaranteed that it's not your last video. Sort of. So anyway, yeah, I mean, just avoid the argument. I mean, oh yeah, well, it's not a legitimate subject because it's too close to reality, I guess, right? You can't deal with it as a reality, that life itself might be broken. So your presumption is going to be, well, how do we make life better? It's never going to be about, is the game functioning? Does the game work? Is the game worth playing? I mean, I used the analogy before that it's like pee-wee football actually paralyzes children. That's a byproduct of it, is paralyzed children. Does it really do anything that great? Is it that necessary, that functional, that magnificent an activity that you could justify paralyzing children over it, for it? And it's not a legitimate argument to have, is whether it's cost effective, whether it's purposeful, useful, functional. By that standard, you're just going to say, no, all conversation has to take place in the context that we accept pee-wee football. It will always exist. It exists. It should always exist. We can't question the value of it. So we'll only try to reduce how many children get paralyzed. We won't just admit it's stupid, a waste of money that has no real useful consequences, and be done with it. No. We'll just play a game and pretend that it serves some sort of purpose when it doesn't. When it's something we could certainly live without. Yes. Children could do without the psychological damage caused. I'm trying a slightly different path through here, and I don't think it's good enough. So, the chainsaw did very well, and I got all that three monster trees. And, yeah, so, I mean, I did really well. So now I guess I can beat the hell out of it, cutting through some of this crap, so I can walk without doing all this shit, you know, to get through here. Even just getting rid of some of these vines would be helpful. Then I could get through here without all this expense of energy and the liability of an entanglement that may cause me to fall and impale myself on something like that, which, you know, maybe it would be the right way to go. Because every other way looks like the wrong way. So anyway, see, this is much, now that I've got it, it's not so bad. Now that I know which way to go. It's just a little bit messy, but navigatable. So, see? Yeah, see? That's the danger of it, though. I could have been killed again. I get killed like so many times a day. I almost get killed. This tree really exploded. I mean, look at it. Just exploded. Exploded in pieces. What was that? But man, you know, the root ball that went back in the ground was like 5 times the size of this one. You know, that pine tree in the front, it was huge. I mean, just an amazing amount of energy gets caught up in the roots that are bent. You know, amazing from my perspective. I didn't realize roots could hold that much energy. That's a lot of energy. To pull that big, huge, you know, megaton tree through the air. You know, that was pretty amazing. Amazing. Use the word amazing. I should always just say amazing when I say amazing. I should emphasize the fact that I said the word amazing, just to point out that, yeah, it's a stupid word. It wasn't amazing. Oh, there's a deer jumping over trees. It's amazing. Oh, okay, it's not amazing. It was rather picturesque, I must concede. Alright, so where was I? Subject. Oh yeah, life is stupid. Life is stupid. Just keep going through it. I mean, you're going to compare it to a bunch of other things. I keep doing this. I keep saying this isn't a complex argument when you break it down. It's like any other activity that we participate in, any decision we make, whether it'll be nuclear power or not nuclear power, and the idea that it's not a personal decision seems kind of obvious. You know, there's no point in me personally deciding to be a vegetarian if the rest of the world isn't going to be a vegetarian. You know, and there's no reason for me not to be kind of militant about being aggressive, about saying, well, there's a certain point where, yeah, you have to make certain behavior illegal or wrong. You have to declare it for what it is, because you have the authority of consensus or majority rule or whatever the standard is. And that's the argument being made, is there's a point where a substantial number of the human race will no longer be programmed by the lies, and we'll be able to say, yeah, this game seems inadequate to its purpose. It's time to put it away, like curling or something. It's gotten preposterous and stupid. It's not good enough. Sneaking up on people. Oh, I did say amazing again. You know, I was pointing out how it takes me longer to get down the hill to the peoples, and because of all the trees that are down. So it's just amazing. I did it again. That's just a bullshit word. Amazing. It shouldn't exist. It's not useful. Yeah, shadows. That is a long tree in the shadow, ain't it? Yeah, that was a long way. No branches. Curious. Anyway, I should look back. Oh yeah, there it is. There is a tall tree. Where was I? Video making. So we're somewhere between, you know, what kind of arguments and metaphors can be used for behavior. And if you use explicit language like imposition, people run from that. But what else do you call it? What do you call it when you drag something somewhere and say, eat this? You know, or die. Here's your choice. Eat it or figure out some way to make the blood fly out of your body so you die. Or some other way to kill yourself. I mean, you call that person an asshole. There's no other word for it. Don't pretend there's some other word. And Russian roulette. I mean, you can come up with all kinds of scenarios here, and you're just sitting there drawing straws. These are all legitimate metaphors, analogies for the risk equations that we subject each other to. It's not any different than the drunk driving scenario where somebody says, well, I can handle my liquor. I shouldn't these standards shouldn't apply to me because I can be 2.7 on the Richter scale, and I'm not drunk. I'm just funny. And that's the logic out there. People never want to take full accountability. I concede I don't want to take full accountability, but I'm not going to say it's wrong for somebody to apply it, and I'm not going to vote against it, and I'm not going to protest when somebody finds a legitimate hypocrisy or insufficiency in my behavior. I'm not going to condone it. Fuck that. There's no need to do that. Just admit that the truth is a mess. The truth is rather ugly. And we have to deal with that ugly truth. That this is a risk equation. That you are imposing your decision on others. I'm sure there's, some French nuclear power plants, I've made this analogy before, that are right next to the German border or something. Right next to somebody's border anyway. And they've said that other country has decided it's too dangerous to play with this nuclear energy, and yet they're going to be exposed to the risk. There's going to be lots of people downwind, from the, French nuclear facilities, and they essentially are going to have the risk imposed on them for somebody else's desire, to serve somebody else's needs, to provide somebody else with comfort and a cheaper form of electricity. Even though they decided themselves not to impose that risk, they're going to have the risk imposed on them. And these are real dilemmas. They're not fake. They're not obscure. They're right in your face. Real dilemmas of imposition, of the impossibility almost of living life without having to impose. And what are the legitimate impositions and which are illegitimate? These are real questions that have to be answered, not run away from. Not I'll make my last video, on the question is I'm going to declare the question moot or irrelevant. Because you're pussies. And you're deliberately and willfully evading the truth. You don't want the truth. Can't handle the truth. Son. So you fuck the truth. And the victims, you just pretend they don't exist, or pretend you couldn't do anything about it. You were as responsible as possible by your own standards of possibility, which is lame. But again, it really has to do with more about what you're doing to the future in terms of the future mindset, and preparing them to be better people than you. There's so many people that have these idiotic addictions, and they gleefully almost pass them on to the next generation, get them caught up in the same sick syndrome of dependency on some silly soap opera, whether it be sports or politics or some other bullshit. They get them caught up in the same crap. That's what it is. It's crap. Just admit that you feed on crap. You're a crap eater. You're a poo eater. You eat nonsense memes. You feed on meaningless ego glorifications, silly definitions of merit, preposterously silly, you know, really, style over substance, all over the place. There's nothing to glorify in any of that crap. The substance isn't getting the job done, not talking about doing it. So all those advocates are all failures until we win. It's winner take all. That's the sad truth of it. You know, that's all there is. It's like war. It can be analogized. Yeah, it's just compromise isn't going to be possible. It's going to have to be a winner and a loser. Something's going to exist and something's not going to exist. Because there's two, these things are incompatible. The perception that nuclear power is too dangerous to mess with is incompatible, you know, with the perception that, oh yeah, we can do it if we do it right. We can handle it. We're in control. Those two perceptions are not compatible. Somebody's going to win. Some perception of reality is going to win, and some perception is going to lose. So anyway, that's the game. It's a fight. And you're going to pretend there's something else going on here? No, it's got to be fought out. There just isn't a compromise. There really isn't. You know, it's just the way it works out. In most circumstances, it either is black or white when you finally get it down. When you finally smear off all the bullshit, all the nonsense, you're going to find black and white underneath it all. You're going to find, yes, it's worth it, or no, it's not. You're going to find a conclusion, a rational, logical answer. The gray is an illusion. The color is an illusion. There's right, wrong. There's productive and not productive. There's efficient and insufficiently efficient, and such. Anyway, I believe that's enough said. I'm tired already. I gotta work. I'm just getting too old for this physical labor thing. Really, it's hard labor. Moving trees is hard labor. Oh dear, that's a shingle. Oh, okay, it's off the shed probably. It's okay. Yeah. Shed shingles. Oof. Yep, off the peak. Because this thing fell off. I got to repair that. Projects for later. Anyway, until next time. And such. Whoa, hit the button. Yeah, I didn't really want to do that yet. Anyway, just thinking, as usual. Yeah, this whole idea of value and measuring the positive against the negative. And again, it's so hard to do rationally. You have to be really careful how you think through circumstances, because you do have this confirmation biases and other kinds of. Look at this monster tree. Gee. Somehow I believe I must be going the wrong way, because that's the wrong. That's got to be the wrong tree. I got to be in the wrong place. I really don't want to be over there though. I think I'll go around the other side of the street and see if that works. Well, anyway, doesn't look like it will, but I'm going to do it. Well, maybe it's the way I'm supposed to be. Yeah, I'm just off by a little bit. Anyway, so it's like, so with nuclear power, you can measure against catastrophe. So it's like even if you, like people who bought houses on the shore here, you know, they got one of their 100-year disasters. You know, every 100 years or every 50 years, there's going to be one of these big disasters, and that's the price you pay for living there. And, you know, they sort of want to make the price everybody's price, which is kind of silly. You know, they chose to live in a place you probably shouldn't live, or to own a summer house, and we certainly shouldn't be financing the viability of your summer home. You know, that's sort of bullshit. We shouldn't subsidize summer homes. But anyway, that's a side issue. But it's all related to this value equation. What's the real value of something? Is it productive enough? I sort of made the argument that there's jobs you can have that are... Holy shit. A lot of trees here, too. That's a nice piece hanging right there. I really seem to be not to where I should be. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll take this alternative route and survive it. Hopefully, maybe, possibly. I've been here before. I can see I've cut stuff here. Oh. Yeah, sorry, tangles. That's the real danger here. You get tangled in one of these things and then your foot gets caught and then you fall and you die horribly. One of these pointy things. So, my shoelace is untied. It's always something. It's a little difficult being me. Sing that Kermit the Frog song. Oh. Where was I? I don't know. Somewhere over the rainbow. Yeah, well, you know, rainbows aren't too cool either. All kinds of trouble with rainbows. Anyway, so yeah, it's this risk equation. So it's even like something you enjoy can come with a hard price. Like even owning a pet. They give you years of pleasure, so to speak. But they also give you lots of anxiety and worry. You don't come home or something happens and you know, you go through all this horrible fret, and you know, and they die, and you feel responsible for any bit of suffering that's too excessive because you didn't take them to the vet soon enough, or you know, all this. There's lots of room for backseat driving yourself crazy. And you see people do that all the time. I do anyway. I've known lots of people who have consumed themselves with guilt when they committed no crime. They did the best they could, but it's just our nature is is to pile it on, so to speak, in terms of regretting. It's easy to do. Regret's a fairly easy syndrome, and I'm for it in a lot of cases if you're learning from it. But yeah, if you're just tormenting yourself with it, well then screw that. That's of no value. Yeah. And so now I was also thinking about how this also connects to the economy in a way. You know, I keep arguing that there's this thing called productive work versus unproductive, and there should be this, you know, that what you want to achieve is to have as much productive work as possible and as few waste workers as possible. And so then you can glean the productivity of the productive work, and you can share that work, and everybody can work less and live better. If we didn't have a system that forced us to compete against each other in all these negative ways, drive wages down, increase profits for the owners, people who don't do anything except ruin our lives and waste the productivity of our labor, have us waste our time doing socially useless labor rather than socially beneficial labor. I don't know. way off course here. So anyway, what else? Oh, I guess I'm okay. Yeah, this is the path I know. Anyway, this is my auxiliary path, the back way. But now it has to be the main way because the front way doesn't work anymore. That doesn't sound quite right, but who cares? I am tired. I'm just tired. I'm just kind of done in. I'm still acting as if I'm alive, but I'm not really. I'm just acting, pretending, going through the motions. There's a couple of pots there. They're plants. Scoop those up. What the hell is that? Oh. Looks like some kind of dead thing. What else? Oh, I think there's a regulator on that stove. I mean, on that grilly thingy. Whatever it's called. Yeah. There's a regulator on there. Maybe I have use for that. Maybe. Oh, I forgot to pick up some plants at work. Hadn't fully frozen yet. Ow, God, my neck. I don't know if I can unscrew that, but we'll see. Yuck. I have to from underneath, I guess. Can't get to it from here. Where was I? Oh, I'm done. Yeah, that's it. I am done. So until the next time and such, and so forth and whatnot. Maybe I'll cut this down. Now that I got the saw to do it with. Fix this fence someday. Who knows when. Till next time.